Good morning, everybody. So I've just arrived back from a really wonderful yoga session with the beautiful Christine at Earthy Angels. And I thought I would take a little bit of time this morning to do a really brief run through of the EFST for Parents workshop for those who are short on time but really want to know what it's about. So here is the briefest overview that I can imagine doing that actually shares something. Okay, so the Emotion Focused Skills Training Program we are going to be running next term for parents and carers. And this is a program that's focused on helping parents and carers learn really important and helpful skills to support young people who are experiencing mental health, behavioral, or emotional difficulties. And these skills can be used with supporting anybody. So it doesn't have to be someone who has like a really deep-seated problem. These skills can be used with everyday parenting, but they can also be supercharged to help kids who are really struggling. The other important thing is that these skills also are not just focused on helping kids. The program we're going to be running is helping children and adolescents, but these ideas can be used across the age range. Okay, so emotion-focused skills training. But the goal is not just to help our children feel better, but to help our children get better at feeling. So what that means is we're going to help our kids get better at using their emotions to guide them and to help them navigate the world. Okay, and we're going to be doing that by developing your emotion-wise skill net. What does that mean? NET stands for learning how to navigate emotion. A lot of us didn't actually have very good role models with emotion growing up. Our culture certainly isn't very well equipped at helping us to become equipped with those skills. And so this is where we start. First of all, how do we learn how to navigate emotion ourselves so that we can then help others? Enhancing motivation. Motivation is complicated, so I'm not going to go into it too much here, but it's the idea that we will only do what we're already motivated to do. We cannot actually motivate somebody else to do something that they're not inherently motivated to do. However, we can see what someone is currently motivated to do by looking at the behavior, but people are complicated, and within us we have competing motivations. So whilst, for example, if you take the child who is staying home from school, and you can't get them to go to school because of school phobia, it doesn't mean that it looks like they're motivated to stay at home. They're motivated to protect themselves from feeling the anxiety of going to school. That doesn't mean that they don't have within them the motivation to get back to life as normal. So how do we access that motivation that's within them? So this is something that we'll cover during the program. Learn how to enhance the motivation that's already in them to move towards kind of more healthy behaviors. And then also transforming relationships. So this takes, we move the realm here to the interpersonal relationship realm, where sometimes the factor that's getting in the way is the relationship between us and our loved one. So we learn here how to use ourselves in the relationship to move our loved one towards health, but also some skills in how to heal maybe some past wounds, some of which we might not even be aware of that's existing there. Some kind of potentially hidden resentments, and sometimes our kids themselves are not aware that they are harboring resentments. So at this stage, I invite you to ask yourself, as a parent or carer, how do you feel overall about handling your kids' big feelings? Do you feel confident or not confident? If you feel not confident, then this is certainly the program for you to get involved in? And also, do you have parenting fears, any anxieties about starting to address those big feelings head on? And those of you who said, absolutely, you have fears, we welcome you. And those who have no fears, we welcome you too. So both of those, welcome on board and come and join us. Here's an invitation for you to really reflect on what are some of your current parenting struggles. For some parents, we feel quite able to manage big feelings if they come in the form of, say, anger, but if they come in the form of anxiety, then we don't feel so confident in managing that. So think about what is it kind of that your particular struggle is, and it'll be different for different people. All right, so the different components then within the program, just going to quickly whiz through those. We're going to learn about and work with emotion through covering Emotion 101. This is going to be the kind of academic component. Don't worry, it's not in a lot of detail. It's really kind of quick and kind of punchy, and we'll focus on the important key points. Some of the tricky emotions that we're going to learn to deal with will be fear, anger, sadness, and shame. So anyone who kind of feels that they are not super confident in managing those emotions, either within themselves or their loved one, this would be a really good workshop series for you to attend. And one of the core skills that we're going to kind of take a deep dive into will be validation, how to validate emotion. We're going to become aware of and enhance motivation, as I had already said. Yeah, we've got a little chap here called the Troll. So this program was developed by Joanne Dolhenty. Dr. Joanne Dolhenty is a Canadian clinical psychologist who has put this whole program together. And here is the Troll. And the Troll is the thing that's going to get in the way for us when we commit to supporting our child. Say we decide to support our child with really anxious feelings, but we know ourselves that that's something that is hard for us. We can say that we're going to do that, but then as we start on the journey to validate, say, the anxious feelings, we notice that this is really hard, that maybe we ourselves get kind of pulled down into the swamp of anxiety and we start to feel really anxious, or possibly we might start to feel even angry. And everyone's got their own patterns. So the invitation in the program will really be to identify what our trolls are, because that's what's going to get in the way. And if you're confused about that, you wouldn't be alone in that. It's really something that we're going to cover in depth in the program, and you'll be really clear about what a troll is and how to identify your troll and how to work with your troll and also the trolls of your loved one by the end of the workshop series. We're going to learn about boundary styles, really interesting way of looking at boundaries in this program that I'd be really excited to share with you, very useful skills. Hard for me to kind of really sum up here because it really is different, but different in a good way. And I'd rather just kind of save that for when you come along. It's often a part of the program that parents and carers really get a lot from and enjoy. Okay, and then here is the tool of apology. Again, this is apology is a term that's kind of imbued with meaning in our culture, and often negative meaning. A lot of us have got some negativity kind of attached to the idea of apology. I know certainly, like when I was at school, kind of having a fight with a peer, an argument with a peer, there would be a teacher who would say, "You must apologize now." And so we can kind of have that wrapped up to some extent with maybe some feelings of powerlessness or anger. So we've all got our own kind of history with this term. We use it differently in this program. We use it as a healing, I'm thinking the word technique, but it's more than a technique. It is a path towards healing. Think of it more as the kind of apology that you would give if you are feeling deeply sorrowful about the pain and suffering that someone else is going through. Like when you say to somebody, I'm so sorry for your loss, it's kind of more along those lines. Again, apology is something that can be kind of deeply healing for both the parent or carer and for the loved one. And another part of the program that's been a surprising benefit for parents and carers, like at the beginning of programs that I've run before, using this program, parents at the beginning have been a bit apprehensive about this, but then by the end of it, really seeing this very differently and kind of going, wow, it really wasn't what I expected, but boy, was it really helpful. Okay, so we use the metaphor within the program of the bridge to change. You're going to cross the bridge to change. To start the bridge to change are the first kind of two components under navigating emotion. Then as we start to cross the bridge to change, we notice that actually there's stuff that's going to get in the way. And then we need to learn how to enhance our own motivation and the motivation also of our loved one to move towards change. And then when we get to the other side of the bridge, we really want to make sure that we can stay there, that we can really consolidate change by really working with boundaries and potentially using the tool of apology too. And I just love these footsteps that Joanne's put into her slide. Muddy feet, walking the bridge to change. If you are interested in joining us, you might even want to start thinking about this before you come along. We'd go through this worksheet in the program, but just to get kind of thinking about it, what are your desired changes? Coming along to a program like this, what do you actually want to get out of it? So imagining you and your family on the other side of the bridge, actually where change has already happened. This is where you want to be, where everything is all solved and it's all sorted. What does it look like on the other side of the bridge? So not only changes you picture both in yourself and in others, if things are all better, and really imagining this in as much detail as you can. Now we're moving to the middle of the bridge. So we're kind of moving back from the other side to the middle of the bridge and really thinking about what might be some of the challenges that could potentially get in the way. So describing you and your family on the bridge, this is where the trolls are that are going to kind of threaten your journey to the other side of the bridge. Note all the things that keep you all from being or doing what you all want and need to be, right? So what do you imagine is going to get in the way? You could say, well, I want to get my child back to school, but anxiety is getting in the way, or I really want to kind of parent from a place of kind of more kind of peace and calm, but you know, my kids are just they just misbehave so much, and then I just get so angry, and then, you know, all bets are off. So just thinking about what it is for you, and particularly thinking about what are the feelings, what are the strong emotions that are going to get in the way? What are the messy feelings in you and others? The obstacles preventing change. Okay, now this side of the bridge, where you are currently, the starting place, strengths and needs. So describe yourselves on this side of the bridge, where you are now, where are you starting out? What is the lay of the land here? Kind of knowing what's happening here now. Describe what you and your family need. Describe what you and they are capable of. What are the strengths that you have? What abilities do you have to start out with that can help you face your trolls? Often we can forget when we're in the midst of struggle, what the strengths are and the resources are that we currently have and our loved ones currently have. But I really invite you to spend some time thinking about that. And then I just kind of touched my mouse and it kind of flipped over to the next slide. And it's probably a good idea because I said this was going to be really brief. And anyone who knows me would go, oh my gosh, that's a super challenge for Gina. This is as brief as I could get it. Tried really hard. So I hope that it hasn't been too long. So the emotion focused skills training workshop is starting next term. It's going to be Wednesday evenings. And so please do let us know if you'd like to get involved in that, where we're really going to be focused on learning the skills, where the goal is not just to help our children feel better, but to help our children get better at feeling. Thanks for your attention. And I hope you have a really wonderful day. Bye. Now, if I can kind of figure out how to stop the record button, right? One thing I'm really learning is how to work with technology. All got the thing we're working on.